Hi there, how are you doing today? I want to go through some of the grammar on chapter 16 with you so that you can get started on what we're doing. So the big idea for chapter 16 is the addition of a special group of third conjugation verbs. They're called IO verbs. They end the first principal part, that I run or I swim, whatever that is, that first principal part is going to end in IO. Otherwise, they follow most of the third conjugation patterns. So they are classified as third conjugation. You can think of it very similar to how I stem nouns are considered third declension, even though there's a little bit of variety, but basically they're third declension, and same thing with IO verbs are considered third conjugation. So, to start with, on exercise 2 is the first thing we're going to be doing today. And so this is just to go through the verbs in the vocabulary section, and you're going to mark, you're going to find the stem. So most of the time that's just dropping the RE, and then I want you to write the infinitive, write the stem, and then tell me, is it first, second, or third conjugation, or it might be third IO. So it might be, for example, capere, because the first principal part is that capio. So go ahead and do that. You can pause the video if you haven't done that yet. Go ahead and attempt that. Remember, and above exercise 2, there's a reminder. First conjugation has the long ARE ending, second conjugation has a long ERE ending, and then third conjugation is identified by the short E before the RE. So go ahead and do exercise 2, and then we'll talk a little bit about the present tense. So just by way of review, go ahead and open up your composition books, and we'll label this January 28th, 2019, IO verbs. You can see my notes here. So go ahead and label it like that. And just to refresh our memory, we're going to copy this third conjugation present tense chart. This is from Etere. I drew a line here to show where my stem is. So mite is my stem. Okay, and then, so go ahead and copy this into your notes just so we can remember what a general case of third conjugation is. So we have mito, mitis, mitit, mitimis, mititis, mitont. Okay, so my weak E changes to an I. In these 4 cases, it changes to a U down here, and then just the O in first person singular. Okay, now for the new part. So first conjugation present, IO verbs. So capio is one of them. I know this is, I see the IO, so I know it's an IO verb, and there's no I in my stem. So there are some verbs that have an I in the stem and an I in the first principal part, and those are actually fourth conjugation verbs, which we'll look at the very end of the year. Okay, but for right now, if there's the IO ending in the first principal part, but there's no I here in the infinitive or in the stem, then we know that's a third conjugation IO verb. Okay, so my stem is cape. I drop off that RE and cape. Okay, and then here's my chart. I have capio, which I know from up here, and then again the weak E changes to an I. Capis, capit, capimis, capitis. And then the third person plural is, I think, the biggest difference, capiunt. So that I actually gets inserted before the ending. So in present tense, IO verbs act the same as their conjugation, except for first person singular, where we have the capio, and third person plural, capiunt. These two have an extra I before the ending. Okay, so go ahead and make sure you have all of this copied down. Again, you can pause this if you need a minute to catch up. Okay. All right, so that's our third conjugation verb. So our next thing we're going to do is exercise 3. So here we have our example of capio, capere, and now you're going to do the same thing for faccio, facere. Okay, so so this is notes on a separate page in your composition book, wherever you like, right underneath exercise 2, ideally. Go ahead and do exercise 3 and make a table for faccio, facere, and conjugate it in the present tense. And I think I will stop the video there so we stay under the time limit for YouTube, and I'll be with you in a minute.